Hi everyone, Jon Kozesky here with the Chamber of Commerce, your small business advocate. Usually we would be at our monthly networking lunches right about now, but seeing as that's not exactly allowed anymore, and we tend to have a lot of those lunches at Danbury Senior Living, I thought, why not invite the new administrator of Danbury Senior Living here in Broadview Heights, Scott Mann. Scott, how are you today?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. It's good to see you, my friend. So,
Thanks for having me.
first and foremost, everyone is home and healthy, I hope?
Everybody's good. Everybody at home is fine, and everybody here is fine, and that is extremely comforting to say that right now.
That's very exciting. That's what we like to hear. So, for anybody watching who's not familiar, tell us a little bit about Danbury Senior Living.
So Danbury Senior Living is a full spectrum senior living community. We have independent living, we have assisted living, and we have memory care. So we have residents here. We've got 20 some residents that are really receiving no care at all to residents that are well advanced into the dementia stage. So we're dealing with a lot of different seniors in different senior needs.
That's fantastic. Well, we certainly have all been watching on the news. This is a bit of a different world that we're living in right now, and certainly senior care facilities are no different. They're having to change the way they do business. So tell us a little bit about how Danbury is responding to this current scenario.
Well, it is a different world. I'm talking with hospitals. I'm talking with senior centers and skilled nursing communities every single day, and our lives have just completely been pretty much turned around. So my life has changed by the fact that I come to work every day and I put on a mask right here. I get my temperature taken every day. I can tell you that I'm pretty healthy right now.
All right.
And I'm a non-essential employee, so I'm not on the front lines like the rest of the employees that are working in the building, but I'm here to support them. So all of our staff, we get temperatures taken in and out of the building. We're all wearing masks. We are doing everything we can from an organizational and employee perspective to protect the residents because they are the most vulnerable through this whole situation. So Danbury has taken a very, I'm going to say, I don't think there's much more that we could do to help protect the residents. Believe it or not, new business is still good. We still have a lot of people out there that are looking for help. That hasn't changed. What we have had to change is how are we going to be able to reach them. One thing that we have decided to do is we have like I said, and I can say this for the whole company, there are no known cases right now for Danbury employees or residents throughout the entire state.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's very good. And we want to keep it that way. So we are testing anybody that wants to come into the community for COVID. If they have it, they can't come in. So we're doing a lot of things to protect the residents.
Well, we really applaud you for those precautions you're taking, not just to protect your staff, but your residents and really just our community at large, and that's wonderful. So Scott, I have to ask, I mean, we have a lot of viewers at home right now. They probably have loved ones in senior care facilities like Danbury. What kind of advice would you give them? What should they be doing right now?
So from what I'm hearing, just about everybody that has a senior population, like I said, whether it's the hospital, skilled nursing community, or assisted living community, they're pretty much limiting access to only essential employees and essential healthcare providers, which means no visitors or guests, which is probably one of the most difficult things that our residents are dealing with right now because family members cannot come and see them. But again, it's about keeping the virus from coming in. So one thing that I can say that we are doing with all of our residents that is extremely popular is we're doing FaceTime and Zoom interviews. We're setting those up, and they're pretty much going on all day with family members throughout the entire building. Another thing that I would recommend is stay in contact with them as much as you can. Phone calls, letters, emails, anything that you can do to just kind of reach out because like I said, most of the communities, we're not only not letting people in, but we are keeping the residents homebound in their apartments. So there's not a lot of interaction going on with each other because we don't want the possibility of it spreading throughout. So they really need that social interaction. So anything that you can do, I know I've heard stories about people showing up and, serenading their parents through the windows and talking to them over the balconies and all of that stuff. As long as they're staying at a socially distant space, then we think that's great.
Scott, I was thinking of serenading you through this interview today, but I think we'll hold off until the next one.
Oh, come on. Let's go.
That's the hook at the end to get people to come back.
All right, deal.
But it sounds like the big takeaway here is to call and email and send letters to mom and dad, and be sure to let them know you're thinking about them, even from afar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic,
absolutely.
fantastic.
These are challenging situations. We are going to get through it. It's just everybody staying cool and working together and staying healthy.
That's it. That's what I like to hear. Well, Scott, it sounds like you certainly are keeping busy. You probably don't have a great deal of free time on your hands, but we all have just a little bit more right about now. So in your free time at home, have you become a yoga master yet, or maybe mastered the yo-yo?
Well, so I made the mistake of deciding to move last month. Which was kind of a bit of a rush to kind of get it done because we didn't want to get stuck between two places. So I have everything moved, but everything is in a box right now. So that pretty much is my life. I leave here, I go home, I start unpacking, and then occasionally I have to run to Home Depot to get shelving units, but they close at 6, so that's not easy to deal with. So my life's been a little hectic.
Oh boy, well, that'll keep you busy and it'll keep you young, Scott, so there you go. Well, Scott Mann of Danbury Senior Living, thank you for being with us today. We do have the Danbury information here on the screen. If anyone you know is looking to move into a beautiful, wonderful, warm senior care facility, the Chamber of Commerce cannot say enough great things about Danbury and all that they do for not just our small business community, but our community at large. So thank you again for all of that, Scott. That's all the time we have for today. My apologies to Vince Vaughn that we couldn't get to your interview, but we sure will in our next video. So in the meantime, keep home, keep healthy, keep shopping local.